Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie. I don't know why I'm whispering. I'm the only one home. It is very early on September 7th. It is day 8. That's 9. It is day 8 of the September series where I upload a video every single day. I'm about to start work, but I remembered I finished my audiobook yesterday, so I'm gonna pick a new one. I have 3 library cards because I move a lot. So I went through my libraries and I found on Libby which fantasy audiobooks are available now because I think I'm in a little fantasy mood. The ones that were available that I was interested in were Amari and the Night Brothers, which I've heard good things about, The Raven Boys, which I've already read, but it'll make it easier to work, and I don't think I've reread that series, Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, The Ex-Hex, and Darling Girl. I think I'm going to start with Amari and the Night Brothers just because it is middle grade, so I'm hoping it'll be easy to listen to while I'm working, but I will let you know if I switch it up. My request to you is, what do you think I should start after this among these books? That is all. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, or whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, got to my lunch break. I read about 40% of, oh my God, what is the title of that book? I know Amari's name, but that's all I can remember. And it's fun. It's like an easy listening. It is descriptive and it's cool to think about this magical world. So Amari is, I think she's in middle school. She must be like 12 years old. Her brother has completely disappeared. She's the only one who thinks that he's not dead. And she gets this weird suitcase from him and there's a message and she puts on these glasses and he's there telling her this message that it was supposed to send to her in case something happened to him, and that there's all of this magical stuff going on in our real world and that he has put her name in to go to this summer academy thing. Kind of sounds like the Honeys at this point, honestly. But she ends up at this academy and it's really cool because there's like creatures in her everyday life. Everyone has certain gifts or talents, and on their first day at this academy, they go up to this huge orb and the thing detects your own talents that are just in you, and then it enhances those talents by giving you magic, pretty much. So like someone who is very good at organizing suddenly has this super ability to, like, if 100 papers fall out of their hands, it's sorted automatically. I think that was the lamest gift that I read about, but just as an example. Amari is already pretty famous because her brother is like this pretty good, like, why did I just do that? Famous sort of detective, but she goes up to this crystal orb. First of all, she's given this like highest medal that she could, a moonstone or something like that, which basically means she's badass without her even doing anything. She goes up to the orb and it cracks. And it says that she is a magician and it's illegal. And these grown-ups kind of take her into this room immediately and everyone is shook. So I definitely like all the magic stuff. I like hearing more about it. It is kind of funny though, but I guess it's an allegory to bigotry and racism. And as Amari is introduced into this world, everyone's like, we want magical beings to be able to be free in our world, except they stop at magicians, even though they give these kids magical powers. So that part doesn't really seem even to me, but whatever. Amari is pretty much here just to figure out what's happening to her brother. And it's fun to read about. It's not really gripping me. Like, I'm not dying to finish it. I actually think I'm gonna take a break from it until tomorrow. It's definitely an easy book to listen to and it's intriguing and I like Amari as a character. But the ridiculousness of it, of them getting like a 12-year-old who's known about this magical world for a day and that they say is highly dangerous because magicians are totally illegal, despite the fact that they give these kids powers, which isn't that a sort of magic? She's been an illegal magician for a day and they let her interview alone the most highly dangerous villain to ever be on day 1 of her being there. So I had to take a break. I was like, okay. I was fascinated by the villain Monroe. It sounded like a Hannibal kind of situation where she was interviewing him and he was trying to get to know her more because he's also a magician. It has such a high rating on Goodreads. It's like a 4.44, so I definitely want to complete it. In the meantime, I'm not sure what to listen to. I looked up all the Goodreads ratings for those books I mentioned earlier this morning, and the next highest rated was Under the Whispering Door. I did start it. It kind of has a similar vibe as TJ Klune's other book, House on the Cerulean Sea, and I think I give that a 4.5 or 5 stars. Our main character is this big boss who doesn't care about the lives of his employees, and he just thinking mechanically about how his company can move forward, not really caring about the feelings of employees, yada, yada, yada. And I'm sure at some point he's going to realize, oh shit, that is not the way I'm supposed to be thinking. I think this guy ends up dying like probably in the next chapter. And I don't know what happens after that, but there was a note from the author that this deals with topics of suicide. So I'm not sure if I'm in that mood. So then, oh my gosh, this is like, Allie, choose a goddamn book. I went to my Libby app and I sorted by due date, and I only have 5 days to finish this book, The Love of My Life. It's a suspense thriller or mystery about a married couple. There's Emma and Leo. Emma's a marine biologist, and she gets in some sort of accident where I think she's like in a coma. And Leo is an obituary writer, so he writes her obituary, or at least researches for it just in case he has to end up writing it, which I don't know, that's kind of counting your chickens before they hatch. But anyway, he finds out that Emma has this like big secret, or Emma's not even her real name. I don't know if that's true. I just mean it's like these secrets that are totally like, he should definitely know about this as her husband. It says it is page turning and highly like addictive, like you want to find out what's going on. So I think I might try to start that after I eat some lunch real quick. That's the plan. I'm being very finicky this morning, but that's kind of the greatness of having a daily reading vlog, because I get to dip my toe in a bunch of different things and then give you this at the end, even though you're probably bored as hell by now. So I'm gonna shut up. All right, guys, I'm done with work. I read about 25 pages of The Love of My Life, and I didn't get to the intrigue part, but I do think this is the same narrator as Lock and Key, which I did enjoy. Not that that's like any indication that the story will be similar at all, but she brings a vibe, a very British vibe. So eventually I will continue with that. And then I went back to T.J. Klune's book, Under the Whispering Door, and I started remembering, because I think I started this some other time, and it is kind of like a Scrooge story where the main grumpy man dies and he's visited by some sort of supernatural being. At this point we've met, I only read 25 pages of this as well. We met May, who I just love. She's like a reaper. She's sort of his tour guide of the afterlife. So far, I think he's gonna be passed on to someone else. And what is that Christmas story? I think it's called, what is it? A Christmas Story? A Christmas Carol. Yes, so it feels very reminiscent of that, where he's gonna see what a little bitch he's been his whole life. But it was really good. Like, I was getting very familiar with the story, and I really like the tone of T.J. Klune, at least from the House on the Cerulean Sea. It's a very similar tone, and I like it. So I will also be continuing that. And then Amari, I got about 169 pages through, and very much enjoying that. I forgot to mention that it is middle grade, so obviously it's not like for me specifically. I'll probably try to finish that one up tomorrow. But now I get to read what I've actually been wanting to read all day, which is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. It's been kind of awkward doing these daily reading vlogs because I start talking about a book and I summarize it in one video and then I don't finish it, and it feels kind of awkward just jumping in. So I'm just gonna assume that you watched that video. And if you didn't and you want more of an explanation, you can skip to that part of the video. But I will say that I ended this last night squealing with happiness. Our two characters have now seen each other. This is like a second chance romance. They have seen each other. They haven't had a conversation by themselves yet. They're on a panel of judges, or not judges, but like writers talking about literature, Black literature in specifically. God damn, I can't talk after being on the computer for 8 hours. I left on page 60, so I have about 260 pages left. That is a little ambitious for me on a school night. So without further ado, I'm about to read my ass off. Read 64 pages of this, but they were 64 pages of joy. I'm stopping tonight because I know I'm gonna love this, and I just want to read the rest of it in one go. Like, I don't want to have to get to the point tonight where I'm like 75% through and then I have to go to bed and I can't read the last of it, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm putting it off because I know I'm gonna love it. First of all, the chemistry between these two is just amazing, and we are getting flashbacks to when they first met in high school, and it's just I'm getting my serotonin in today, okay? This video is kind of boring because, well, let's be honest, they're all boring. But I feel like I started 3 more books that I'm gonna have to add to this graphic at some point. And I didn't finish anything, but you know what? I had a great time today reading, and starting new books is like my favorite thing to do, quite clearly. Okay, so stats today with the audiobooks that I listened to and the 64 pages of 7 Days in June. I've read 283 pages total today. So far in the September series, I've read 1,792 pages, which is very cool. And I've finished 5 books. Let me know if you've read any of these books and which of these you would recommend if you've read them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.